Hello and welcome to the second edition of Community Holds the Mic. Today we're here at the Cardano Berlin Hackathon and we'll be interviewing several developers or aspiring developers. So if you're interested, join us, come on.
So welcome to the Cardano Hackathon 2025.
Thank you so much for coming. We have a lot more signups this time than last time. So I'm very excited, and I think it's really cool that we have 4 Cardano events at the Berlin Blockchain Week actually, which is really great for this ecosystem.
Yes, so I believe you're interested in what drives me to kind of build a product on Cardano and why it's important to me. And I think there's a lot of great blockchains out there. In particular, what interests me about Cardano is I think that it's done the best job of effectively solving for the crypto trilemma, scalability, security, and decentralization. I'm really fascinated about, because of the idea of scaling and bringing this technology to the masses, I think that AI and agentic services kind of make the most sense to be that springboard. It makes the most sense to be that bridge that everyone's looking to cross, basically, for the mass adoption, to bring everyone to that island that is the complexity of blockchain and Cardano.
I think there is a lot of areas that I can explore as a developer. The decentralization network about Cardano, as well as the smart contracts between I'm pretty impressed by that. Yeah.
All right, so we are essentially creating a prototype for a project called Chronica, and it's about using the Cardano ecosystem, specifically NFTs, to allow independent journalists to capture an historical event and kind of timestamp it on the Cardano blockchain. And the idea of this is that journalists can not only put the media content there that can be then licensed through a marketplace, and in this way you can protect the media from being framed for other political agendas in other newspapers or media or governments. So this is a very good way to also monetize journalism for independent sources, onboard a lot of people that are not blockchain aware. And of course, Cardano is also very, very cheap to use. It's so important that it's decentralized because this information is expected to live for years. So the idea is that when someone researches a certain event 100 years from now, so that no one can actually tell the story anymore, we have all this information on-chain available and even usable by big data applications or AIs that can give a better frame of what happened in the past in a certain event. So that's kind of what we're building.
What I find interesting about the Cardano community is that it's quite technically advanced, and I can talk about things that I'm interested in, like formal verification, and it's not like a buzzword that people don't have no idea what I'm talking about, and that's what I find interesting, and I would like to build in tools for doing formal verification, and I think that Cardano is the right place for doing this.
So what I think makes the Cardano Developer Community special is that we share the same goals. We have the same understanding of what a blockchain has to deliver. And we all want the blockchain to succeed, actually. So we're all open to help each other, and we want contribution to the blockchain. And I think this is what Cardano community is special. Yeah.
My previous encounter with Cardano was almost 2 to 3 years back when everything started and everything was fairly new. Cardano ecosystem is more open to developers who want to try things out and experiment with their ideas and sort of use this as a discovery platform. I've heard a lot of developers talk about Cardano and how the SDK has evolved a lot and is far more capable in terms of the tech, the scalability, and how things have massively grown. My purpose of being here is sort of to discover and explore what really has changed and how this would make things easier for me.
Okay. What triggered me was Patrick, my boss. He actually approached me and I was really curious to learn about it. Before, I was very involved into Bitcoin and into Ethereum ecosystems, but I was open-minded to learn about the other ones as well, and Cardano is a pretty big one. I really like the people here. I like how people are different here from the other ecosystems, and they are also like very smart, very open-minded, and I like the technology here. I think that the tech and the UTXO model makes sense, and I'm super happy to be here.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure hearing your story. Take care. Love that. Right.
If we look into the future, for example, and we can accomplish to build like a stable and like good ecosystem in Cardano, we can help the whole world. We can help in the future maybe third world countries to get access to the financial world just by having a good ecosystem in itself. So I think this is probably what drives me most to like Cardano and the whole ecosystem in it.
ICP allow this kind of interoperability or connection with the real world of blockchain, because blockchain is very much in a bubble. It's really hard to connect to it. And ICP allow this kind of connection on like blockchain on the internet. So that's kind of like the idea or the direction. And also, since I'm not a developer, but I have Claude that writes all the code for me, and I wonder how can we make more people like me to come to these hackathons and to develop something. So I'm kind of working toward a solution, toward a tool that will allow these kind of connections to the real world and to vibe coders. It means that you can interact with a tool that is like ChatGPT, and it will build a whole app for you, and you just need to ask what's in the database, and it will already tell you, and you don't need to really understand how the database is working, or what is SQL, or what is smart contracts, and all of that.
Amazing. Thank you, man. Hey, it's been a pleasure. Look, hey, look. So, as I mentioned earlier, we're already in a room that is kind of crowded right now with a lot of developers. And we really want to capture a little bit more about, what are people working on?
My experience with working with the ecosystem developers comes mostly through the Venture Hub project that was launched just this year. And I have to say that first and foremost, those are super smart people, super smart guys with very bright and brilliant ideas. Very often, there is also quite a nice synergy where business people can complement developers because they know how to do things, but sometimes there is a small gap on how to translate it to the market. We help them then refine their strategies, refine their go-to-market, refine their messages, target the right audience so that what they have in their head can be translated to a simple language that customers, partners can consume, and this way we help them scale and grow.
What about being a Cardano developer excites you the most?
So I think it's the challenge, right? It's not that easy to go into the Cardano stack, but when you get it, you can basically build anything that you want. And that's what excites me the most about our beloved Cardano. Yeah.
From my perspective, new developers will come if the price of Cardano is rising again, or if the price is going high. You can see it on Solana, you can see it on Ethereum. If the price is going high, a lot of more people are interested in and are coming, and a lot of more developers are coming. So that's one of the main points.
If we are talking about tech stack, so the parallel transaction, if I put it in simple terms, which Cardano has, which enables the developers to do large-scale transactions or multiple of them together, and it helps to use blockchain in projects where normally other blockchains are not compatible. But the second point is more towards the social cause. So if you look at Cardano's news, and if you look at the Cardano Foundation, their goal is not to just make a lot of money, but there is also, they want a positive impact on the world. So they work on projects which will help the world. So that is one beautiful thing which is there in Cardano ecosystem.
What triggered me was able to understand the language that developers are talking, and I wanted to be able to not only communicate with them, but understand the words that they were using. And I mean, development has become much easier now in the age of GPTs, and being able to understand what the GPT is spitting out, why it's doing it, and you know, being technical is not always easy. So I wanted to see if there was anything that I could learn. And also I wanted to be able to teach others because I do love education and being able to bring more people to the blockchain. And if I can translate what is happening on the blockchain and also show them why it's happening, it's really inspiring. So yeah, that's my reason.
It feels really amazing. I mean, it's currently Berlin Blockchain Week here, so it's not only Cardano, but it's actually 140 side events. And I'm super happy that we have 4 Cardano events actually happening, and especially this hackathon being in the main building is really cool because it kind of exposes us as the Cardano community and the Cardano builders also to this like outside community. Like the 2 floors lower, for example, is Solana, and the floor below that is like Bitvavo and Ledger and so on. So everyone is forced to kind of mingle with each other, and I think it's really important, and that's why we always choose the W3 Hub here in Berlin to host these events. It's really important for us to just be exposed to other ecosystems and really get them in as well into Cardano.
For developing on Cardano, you have to go so low level, but as time goes by, it's like we as community working hard together. It's like right now I don't have to care too much about Seaball to build transaction builder, all the Rust stats and TypeScript stats is all the things that I'm mostly excited about. A bit history is in early days when we developed on Cardano is that we have to go for the hash code test stat, which is you have to use a PAB, which is never shipping, and we have a frustrating time in community for 1-2 years. But right now we have all the options, Mesh, Lucy Evo, or even in other code bases like Apollo and so forth. We have so many options that we don't really have to care about what's really low level about how to construct the Seaball to build the transaction. But right now we're feeling in general having more freedom to interact with the Cardano blockchain.
For me, the most exciting thing is to produce open source code that can be used by anybody, that doesn't run under one flag. It's just open for everybody to use. This is the spirit. Collaboration, transparency, and yeah, that's blockchain. Accountability and being open makes us accountable for what we do. Mistakes, successes, that's the thing.
So as someone who's been working with community building in the past years and someone who's been like talking to all kinds of different people who actually want to come to Cardano, one thing becomes clear to me is that we got to be more attractive in terms of it should also be fun and also a bit more hypey and cool to actually build. One thing that people are missing are like smaller challenges so that they can have early success moments. But then we also need to provide them with the next steps too, with support after that. So it would be cool to not only build like more meetups, more communities to get the people in, like hackathons for example, but we also heard an interview earlier with Time who said that we also can build communities or events with overlapping interests. So not just stay inside the bubble, but we really have to visit other events too and gotta exchange knowledge and get them interested in Cardano as well. So what I think in the end is that we need different approaches, but for this kind of grassroots building of a community, we definitely need to be in person at the events and not only represent Cardano, but also we gotta be with the other communities and build together.
There you have it, it's a wrap. You know, Cardano consists of so many different souls. It doesn't matter if you're beginning or an aspiring developer or if you're a seasoned developer. It doesn't matter if you're familiar with the Cardano ecosystem or if you're coming from another ecosystem. Cardano is a place for everyone. Developers.cardano.org is also a wonderful resource where you can start. So I hope you like this, but for now, until next time, take care, bye.